let's get started. We're going to start on our backs with this practice today. So setting yourself up like you are going to be executing a bridge pose, but we'll just sit tight for a moment. I'm going to take my feet actually a little wider than the mat and let the knees knock together, placing my hands on my belly. And then just rest your bones on that mat. Close your eyes and just start to take a couple of deep breaths through your nostrils. Nice full inhale, expand the lungs from the top out to the sides and even all the way down to the bottom of those sets of lungs. So you can fill up like balloons, and then a nice slow escape of air as you let that air back out through your nostrils. Take 5 breaths like that just to center yourself, quiet your mind, allow your bones to rest, and just try to get into this organic state where you are just absolutely in your bones, in your body, in your breath, and paying close attention so as you practice, you're going to move precisely as your body needs to move in this practice today. 1 more full breath. And then on the next breath, just slowly gather up those knees and bring them into your chest. If you feel like bringing your head up into the knees too, just to get that low back, to get a good deep stretch, go ahead and do that. And we'll just activate a little bit of core work before we really get moving here. Slowly extend that left leg. We're still lifted with the torso. Pull that right knee as tightly into your right shoulder as you can and flex through that left heel so you're really driving that left leg away from the left hip. But meanwhile, really pulling up on that right knee so you're really stretching the legs apart. And then on the exhale, just switch. Press through that right heel so the foot is flexed on the leg that's extended and you're really, really pulling tightly into the leg that's into your shoulder. And then just do it again. On an exhale, switch right knee to shoulder and then left knee to shoulder. And then we're just going to kind of move this as a piston, but take your hands behind your head and allow your head to drop in your hands, but still keeping the torso lifted. We're just going to move and drive those feet forward and back. Just nice, smooth movement. Pay close attention to how you're feeling your lower back experience this. So you want to round a little bit, like almost actively drawing your navel down in towards your mat and really driving that straight leg. So we're not worried about repetitions here, but really precise movement. So we're accessing those lower abdominal muscles that we're seeking to here. Keep going with this piston movement, knee in, extending the opposite leg, and then you can move that into bicycles. That's where you take your opposite elbow to knee. And just do 10 of those, nice and smooth. So we're not jamming the head, and you're trying to move more from your waistline than from your shoulders. So exhaling as you come over, and maybe inhaling as you switch, but just get a nice rhythmic movement. I'm going to do 4 more, and 3, and then 2, and then 1. And then bring both legs straight up to the sky, lay your head down, and you can either sit on the backs of your hands, lifting those hips a little bit and really ensuring that lower back stays firm into the mat, or press your palms down. Either way, spread your collarbones, so try to find some openness to your chest. Keeping the legs as straight as you can. If you need a little bend, that's totally fine. We're going to lower the legs straight down towards the front edge of the mat. Really pay close attention that you don't let your back arch. Pull your knees into your chest. Your legs are going to go forward again, straight towards the front edge of your mat. Flex through those heels. And then straighten up those legs to the sky. And we'll just repeat that exactly. So if you are just struggling with this, it strains your lower back, knees into your chest if you're doing it the way I first demonstrated. Press your legs forward. If you would rather, just scissor your legs, straight legs, one at a time, up and down. That will be a little bit easier, but still accesses the very same muscles. We're doing 2 more, knees into the chest. Press your legs forward. Press your legs to the sky. And then lower those legs down. Knees into the chest. Press your legs forward. Raise your legs to the sky. Now you can keep going with that. You can scissor your legs or both legs straight down, both legs straight up. Just 3 of those. Not a lot, but just enough to bring some awareness to that area and really slow down your breath so you feel your breath fueling the movement and keeping that mind very present and calm. Last one of these. And then when you're done, you bring your knees into your chest. It's just that simple. You want to rock side to side or do something as a recovery. Take your time. And then we're going to place the left foot down on the mat, extend your right leg straight up to the sky. Go to the place where you can have a straight right leg. That might mean that your leg needs to point closer to the front of your mat. Grab something on your leg that is going to keep your entire spine on the mat, so you're not lifting your head up or arching through your neck, but keeping the spine, the shoulder blades really anchored in. Pull that leg straight knee towards you. So don't worry about where it is. Go where how it feels. Feel sensation happening on the back of that right leg. You're welcome to stay put or slowly extend your left leg. When I say slowly, because I want you to pay attention to what's happening with your spine. If you feel like you have to start arching your neck or buckling in order to accommodate a left leg that's straight, that's your body's way of saying it's not ready for that kind of space. So just work on the one leg that's in the air. If you happen to have that left leg extended, then really flex through that foot so that your hip flexor is getting something on that left side. Just take 2 more breaths there. Nice slow breaths. See if you can soften every time you exhale. You're going to keep your right leg as it is. Rebend the left one if you did, putting that left foot on the floor. And then open up that right knee, crossing the ankle on top of the thigh. We call that a figure 4. You're going to thread the needle. You'll either grab the back of your left thigh or the shin of your left leg. But your right knee stays super flexed, so that knee and ankle joint are just in those nice lever shapes. And then any degree you can pull that left thigh up towards your chest. Again, paying attention to what your spine is doing. Are you arching through your neck? Are your hips curling up? Can you really anchor your spine flat into the mat? And you're just going to get the most optimal stretch for your body if we can honor and respect the shape of the spine and then work our stretches around that. One more breath there. And then releasing both feet to the mat. Take both of your arms out wide and just do a little seesaw of those knees, left and right. Let that low back release. A couple of those. Maybe a crack is happening, like mine is happening. And then keeping your right foot planted, raise your left leg up. Work where you can place your hands on the back of your left leg, that your knee is straight, your leg is straight. So if your knee is really buckling and you're bringing it to your chest, lower that leg closer to the front of your mat. Find the place that you're not curling your upper body up to meet that leg. Flex if you can through the left foot so you feel pretty intense stretch on those hamstrings. Just observe that. Let's not be in a rush to go to the next level. And then when your body can soften through that, the next level would be straightening that right leg without letting your back arch. And then just breathe, pulling that right leg towards you. Nice smooth breaths in and out. One more inhale there. Keep your left leg extended towards the sky. Rebend your right leg. Put your right foot on the floor. Cross the left ankle on top of the right thigh so your knee points out to the side, making that figure 4. Pick up your right leg and thread through to grab either the back of your right thigh or the shin of your right leg, keeping your right ankle really flexed. So just draw your toes straight up to the sky. And then generally we sort of lean towards the leg that is crossed. So see if you can kind of pull yourself a little bit to the right, kind of like you're pushing into the sole of your left foot and moving your legs to the right of it. One more breath there as you're pulling that right knee as much as you can towards your right shoulder and your chest. Last breath. And we're going to go ahead and release. Take those arms nice and wide. Again, both feet flat on the floor. Little windshield wiper of the knees. Letting that low back release. And then moving your hands by your sides, and we will go into bridge pose now. Walking the feet close to your bum, spread your fingers wide. I would like you to use your arms as much as you can, and then like a strand of pearls, tip your tailbone up, and that lower tail vertebra starts to lift first, and then just kind of ripple each vertebra up off the mat till you get up onto the shoulders and then onto the neck, nestling the shoulders closer together. Try to avoid letting yourself roll out to the outer edges of your feet. Really anchor into the big toe mound. You're going to interlace the hands behind your back if you have that space. If that makes that all buckly and you're just really struggling to hold your hands, again, your body tells you what it can do. And if you're going to fight it, then perhaps you're just going to spend this whole practice swimming upstream, and that's a challenge. You never really get to get comfortable in your body when you're fighting what it's telling you. Take one more breath. If you have any more room, to press into your feet and raise a little higher, go ahead and do that. And then releasing your hands opposite, so start at the top of your spine as you curl each strand of pearl vertebra down. So you get that lower back arch that naturally occurs. Pick up your feet and grab a happy baby pose. Dropping those heels, knees down by the sides of your waist. Flex through the feet like you're stamping a footprint on your ceiling. And most of us usually grab outside the baby toe side of the foot. If that's a challenge for you because you have to pick yourself up to do that, you just reach around the backs of your thighs and you can still get the same sensation pressing your tailbone down. We're going to bring the knees together and then drop them over to the right side, little twist. You can use your right hand to drive the outer left thigh down towards the earth a little bit. Just make sure it feels good, not aggressive. And then maybe picking up that head and looking off to the left shoulder. Nice smooth breaths here. And then move slowly, mindfully always, and taking the knees up and over to the left side. Maybe your left arm rests outside your right thigh, and then you might pick up your shoulders and just gaze off to the right arm, letting your waistline open, soften. This is a pose that shouldn't be super, super active. Gravity really can give you a good stretch here. Take another breath. And then we'll bring those knees into the chest, grab behind your thighs, get a couple good rolls going, and we're actually going to come to a standing forward fold. So once you get a good roll, enough momentum to plant your feet and then straighten out those knees, and then let your head drop down. Soften the legs so that you're not in a locked leg knee position. If you feel like grabbing your elbows, use that as some weight to pull your torso closer to the ground. Maybe shake your head a little right and left. I tend to forget and be gripping through my shoulders, so give yourself permission to let those bones hang upside down from your hips to your crown. Nice full breath here. And then we'll just release those arms, dangle them off your shoulders, soften your knees a bit more so you can slowly roll up, planting into the feet. Real firm base from the ground up until those bones stack right up over those hips. And hands to heart center, Namaste. Take a nice big breath as you reach those arms straight up to the sky. Big inhale. Grab a hold of that left wrist and give yourself a nice side bend to the right. On the next inhale, come back to center, separate those hands, grab that right wrist, tilt to the left as you exhale. And then inhale, coming back up to center and dive forward over your legs. Soft bend of the knees is nice. Ardha Uttanasana, glance forward, either hands to shins or on the mat or your block, and place your hands down, step your right leg back, a runner's lunge. So adjust your hands so they're under the shoulders. If you kept your hands forward on your mat, then they're not supporting you because they're way out from underneath your shoulders. Get them under there, and then you've got a good firm base. You barely even need those hands, so try to find them just as a little assistance, not so much as a crutch that you lean onto. Drop your right knee down, plant that right palm, then we'll lift the left arm up for a twist. Drop that right shoulder, so make sure you're not hunching it up by your ears. And then lower that hand on down. Shift back to half splits, straightening out that left knee, keeping your chin slightly forward, so you don't have to straighten your left knee. Just go to that place where you feel some hamstring sensation. And then come back into that left foot. Keep your left hand down. You might adjust it to just be on your fingertips to raise the right arm up, twisting in that direction. And then lowering that hand on down, shift back to a half split. On the next exhale, plant that front foot forward, so you're on fully that left foot, and circle those arms to the sky, reach up. Really anchor into that left foot, all four corners of the foot, big toe, baby toe, each edge of the heel, and then push into that right knee to lengthen your spine, belly's in strong, maybe you look up. Hands down to the mat. We're going to go to our very first downward facing dog. Pick up your right knee and step back, downward dog. So a couple petals. This first down dog is, as I always say, your inventory. This is where you're checking the boxes. Just start at your feet or start at your hands and work your way through your body. What's it feeling? Without judging, without an agenda, without making a plan here, just inquiring. How does my body feel today? What does it need? Try to keep your mind out of that conversation because it tends to bully our bodies. Go ahead and pick up your right leg. I'll move my left foot in just a little bit so I have more of a tripod support as I raise my right leg straight to the sky without opening that hip. Straighten out your right knee as much as you can. And then shift knee to nose. Stay there in this plank pose with your knee towards your nose. And now look forward and tap your right knee to your right tricep, to your left tricep. Go right again, little sneaky core work. Go left again. And then come to center, knee to nose. You can lift your hips a little bit now in order to step your right foot forward. And you might even need to push it with your right hand. Again, let's get free on the hands. They're just there for some support. And then lower down onto the left knee. Left hand stays put. Raise your right arm up on an inhale. Look up if you can, and let's watch that left shoulder. Make sure it doesn't hunch. Lower the hand down. Shift back, half splits as you look forward, letting your right knee straighten any degree to feel something. Come forward onto that right foot firm. Maybe come up on fingerprints if you're not there yet on that right hand as you raise that left arm up. Looking up, opening up through that left waist. Hands down, half splits, look forward. Come on back onto that right foot, and we're going to circle both arms to the sky. Firm plant of that right foot. Press down into the right foot, left knee, and then raise your body off the earth out of that. Nice big inhale. And we're going to lower the hands, picking up that left knee to step together at the top of the mat. Halfway up on an inhale breath. Exhale, fold. Arms circle to the sky, forward, out to the side, as you wish. You might even take that bit of a back bend at the top. Palms touch, hands to heart center. And our second little warm-up flow. Arms go back to the sky on your inhale. Lower them down, reach forward or out to the sides as you exhale to the mat. Ardha Uttanasana, glancing forward, flatten out your back, pull your belly in. Hands down, step your left leg back, and then adjust those hands so they're right under the shoulders. Lower the back knee. We're going to go right to both arms to the sky on this one. Raise them up. And then circle them around behind your back. Let's get those shoulders stretching. Draw the knuckles down. If the elbows can go straight, great. Just go any place you can go where you feel your collarbones spread, your front shoulders are opening. Pull in that belly a little bit so that lower back is not collapsing. Both arms up on an inhale. And then eagle arms, right elbow cross all the way over the left elbow. So that gives you a better opportunity to wind up your forearms. If that's just impossible, the modification is to touch your fingertips on your shoulders and raise those elbows up. You'll feel a stretch that way. Those of us that are binding, really lift those elbows up, but push them away from your face, the palms away from your face. So you feel a tug happening on your outer shoulders, but you're still dropping the shoulder blades down. One more breath. On an inhale, release the arms to the sky, and then bring them down inside your right foot. We're going to prepare for lizard. Walk your right leg to the right so that your knee points forward and your shoulders are square forward. And when you get down onto your elbows, or feel free to use a block or what you're using as a prop as a block. You know, I recommend a paper towel if you haven't invested in blocks. A roll of paper towels makes a great cushion, a little prop. Take a breath or two here. Relax your neck. Just let your hips sink. Don't force it. Remember, this is checking in. This is asking what your body needs this section of class, not demanding, forcing. Try to relax. And then making your way up to your paws. Reframing out that right foot, picking up your left knee, heading to downward dog. So push off and step back. Or you can go hands and knees and step back. On your second dog, just start to maybe focus a little deeper into the areas that are tight or the areas that are talking. What's your shoulders doing? Are they hunching by your ears? Can you drop them down? Or is your belly engaged? Let's raise the left leg up to the sky. Keep your toes pointing down. Your leg is straight. Don't go high if it has to bend or open up to the hip. We're going knee to nose. Shift into plank. Exhale as you do that. Look forward, knee to left tricep. Right tricep. Swing it to the left. Swing it to the right. Back to center. Round your back, knee to nose. Lift those hips a smidge and step your left foot through. Give it a shove if you need to. Dropping the right knee, both arms coming all the way up to the sky. Reach up. Hips sink, arms extend out of that. Let's circle the arms behind our back. See if you can get that other thumb closer to your bum. Pinch the shoulder blades together. If the elbows can go straight, great. Another option is just with your hands behind your back, you can grab your opposite elbows. It's a little freer for the shoulders if they're tight today. And then we'll inhale the arms back up to the sky. And now cross your left elbow as far across your right elbow as you can. So maybe even on the other side of it in order to bind up for eagle. And if not, we're touching our shoulders, remember. Elbows lift up, forearms press away, shoulders sink down, belly's in here. One more breath. Notice if your feet are gripping, your jaw, anything tensing up. This should not be a squeezing pose. Release those arms up. That should feel free. Drop the hands on the inside of the left foot. Shuffle the left foot out of the way a little bit so you can square your shoulders. And then just let yourself get lower somehow, some way. Don't be concerned about what it felt like on that first side. Maybe this leg is a little tighter, maybe this leg is a little looser and you're able to get a little closer down. Just let it be. Take a breath. And then we'll work our way into our hands. Return that left leg forward in front of the hip so that the left hand can get outside of the knee. Pick up your right leg, step together. Halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Arms reach up, come on up to the sky. Big, huge inhale. We'll link this one. Add a little back bend if you wish and dive straight back forward. Ardha Uttanasana on that inhale. Stepping to plank pose on the exhale. Keep your chin forward. And if you keep your chin forward, then you enter the pose with a nice long spine. If you look back at your feet, you're all rounded, and then you've got to auto-correct here once we get into the plank position. So why don't we go into it with good form instead of get there and then have to fix our form. Just holding plank pose. You're welcome to put your knees down. Keep that chin extending. Kick your heels back, but lift your chest forward. So there's some traction here. You're reaching forward, you're pressing back. It's like we're trying to spread our mat wider, longer mat. One more breath here if you can hang. And then we're going to downward dog. If you prefer a child's pose at this point, go ahead and help yourself. And as we do in any yoga class, child's pose is a great alternative to anything at all that we're doing. So do it as you wish. We're going to take the right leg to the sky on an inhale and step through your hands on an exhale. Lower the left heel down. This is warrior one setup. So the heel is down, pointing towards like 1 or 2 o'clock on your mat. 11 or 10 o'clock on your mat. And then the arms come up over your shoulders. Try to roll that right waistline back and extend the fingertips, really pressing into the outer foot of that left side. Dig into that right heel and really sink those hips. Take another breath. We'll come out with a lunge twist. So as you lower your left hand, you'll spin under the ball of that left foot and then look up at the sky, look past that right hand. We'll lower the right hand down, sweep your right leg right back up to the sky again. Bend the knee, open up the hip if you'd like. Re-extend that leg, and we're bringing it back to the top of the mat, stepping through, coming to high crescent lunge, bending that back knee, and then just reaching your arms up. Extend through. You can start to straighten that left knee if you have room for that, but watch that your shoulders don't hunch up. We're going to pop that left knee and tap the mat 3 times. So here's 1, here's 2, here's 3. Stay in high crescent lunge, 1 more breath. And then we'll move into a vinyasa. Hands down, step back and lower on your exhale. Cobra or upward dog on your inhale. And then downward dog is your exhale. Take a breath. Here goes the left leg. Raise it up to the sky. Exhale, knee to nose and step between your hands. Lower the right heel down. Now the toes pointing to like 1, 2 o'clock-ish on your mat. Arms sweep up. Draw that left waist back, that right waist forward. Dig into that front heel. Spend some time working on the outer right foot so that right knee is really firm and straight. And I generally sometimes squeeze my back glute, so in this case your right glute, so that right hip flexor. Find some freedom there. We'll come out of it with the right hand lowering as you raise onto the ball of your right foot, and then eventually, if you can, look up. So you get a good twist here. Lower the left hand and straighten out that left leg behind you. Big stretch up. Bend the knee, open up that hip if you're thinking that feels good or interesting. Re-extend the leg and we're stepping it right back through, top of the mat. Bend your right knee just a bit so you get your head up over your hips as soon as you can, high crescent lunge. And then just settle in, take a breath, get your form. Make sure you feel as though your spine is perfectly vertical. So if we were driving a stake through the crown of your head, all the bones of your vertebra basically intersect with that, except those curvy ones, like the lower back and the neck. But for the most part, head over shoulders over hips. Tap your right knee twice, or 3 times, sorry. 1, 2, and 3. Have a breath in your high lunge. Exhale, chaturanga. You can skip the vinyasas. Take those modifications if you're not doing upward dog or cobra. You just put your knees down and do a cat-cow instead of a chaturanga back bend. Take another breath. This time we're going to start with the left side, and we'll add on to what we've just done. So on an inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, step in, warrior 1. Take a big inhale, drop that right heel, raise your arms up. Go right to the lunge twist, right hand down, left arm up, look up. Left hand down, sweep your left leg just up on the inhale and bring it right back through on the exhale. High crescent lunge, inhale, come on up. Hands to your heart center, exhaling, and turn it open to warrior 2. Drop that back heel down. There's probably a little adjustment of your feet, so find that place where it feels organic. Your front heel should be intersecting more or less the arch of your back leg, your back foot. So if you're not sure, have a look. And then it's your body, so you got to figure out how these poses should feel in your body. Not my body, not the person that maybe you're practicing with or you've watched practice, but the one that you're in today. Take a reverse warrior 2, flip the left palm up, take a big inhale. And we'll go to extended side angle. You can grab that elbow, rest it on your thigh, maybe grab lower on your leg, circling that right arm all the way up. That right arm should be more or less a diagonal 45-degree line from the right heel all the way to the tips of the fingers. Take a breath, and we're going into vinyasa. Hands down, step it back, lower. Work with your breath, so don't move too quickly through that chaturanga or even that back bend. Exhale into down dog. Take a nice deep breath. We'll move to the other side. Right leg to the sky, big inhale. Exhale, step to the top of the mat, warrior 1. Take an inhale as you rise up. And then hands to the ground, actually left hand to the ground, twist on the exhale. Right arm up. Right hand down, sweep your right leg to the sky. Step through, high crescent lunge. Trying to flow here now with the breath. Inhale those arms up. Touch your palms. And open to warrior 2. Drop that back heel. Little minimal movement. Try not to get all shuffly. And also I like to teach that you don't look at your feet. Try to feel your way into the pose with your bones, with your muscles, with your intention and your intuition, if anything. Take a breath in warrior 2. Really pressing into the outer left foot. Let's go reverse. Big inhale as the right arm reaches up. And then an extended side angle. Forearm can rest on the thigh. Left arm circling on a nice diagonal line. Try to peer up underneath it so you get a twist out of your spine. Little deeper into the pose. Maybe take that hand closer to the ground or a block. Nice big inhale. Final breath here. Vinyasa or dog or child's. Exhale as you lower if you're taking the vinyasa. Wait for the inhale to roll over those toes. Head back downward facing dog. One more breath in dog, and we're just gonna go through a standing sequence one more time. Nice big inhale, right leg to the sky. Exhale, step to the top of the mat, warrior 1. Inhale, we're up. Twist it, left hand down, open up that right arm. Right hand down, sweep that right leg up. Now, if you want to, bend the knee, open up the hip and flip, or just keep that knee bent and open. If you're flipping, try to keep your left leg straight as you pivot over. Reach through the heart to the sky. We're gonna go right to high lunge. So lower your right hand down if it's up. Step through and come high crescent lunge. We are gonna tap that left knee once and back up again. And then twice, and as you come up, I want you to pop your left knee up in front of you. So push off so you're coming into like a one-legged squat. As soon as you get your left leg up in front of you, flex it and find your balance. Stay there breathing. We're gonna take our right hand to our left knee and circle that left hand behind your back, opening into a twist. So try to pull your knee a little bit to the right and pull your waistline a little bit to the left. Take one more breath. We're gonna extend that leg straight forward, bend that knee, and step into warrior two. Hands go back, out wide, foot goes back, settle in. Little more flowy movement, reverse. And then let's go extended side angle. And let's go reverse triangle out of this one. Straighten out that front knee, only one of these today. Try to drop your left hip a little bit lower than the right. And then a triangle pose, extending straight forward. Shift those hips back so you have room to extend your spine as far forward as you can. Use your shin, use a block, use a paper towel to support you with that right hand. And then drop your shoulders down away from your neck, your ears. Look up if you can manage. Find one more breath here. And then we're gonna keep our legs as they are, just stand straight up, arms wide. Now flip your right toes in. Nice parallel feet with the outer edges of your mat. Wide arms, tail drops. Exhale, lower to the ground. Come up halfway here, Ardha Prasarita. Right hand behind your, underneath your face. Raise your left arm to the sky. And then switch. Lower the left hand down, raise the right arm to the sky. Lower that on down, and we'll pivot to the front of the mat, vinyasa, stepping into plank pose, or skip this one if you're just not into it right now. We meet in downward facing dog. Left leg front to the sky. Inhale it up. Step it through, warrior one. Lower the back heel, raise yourself up. Big inhale. Lunge twist, right hand down, twist to the left. Lower that left hand down, sweep your left leg up and back, one-legged dog. Stay or bend the knee. Now if you're gonna flip, shift forward, and maybe you look at the screen here. Shift forward, so you want as much of a vertical shoulder over the wrist situation. So you really keep that right knee straight as you slowly pick up that left arm, and your right leg stays straight and strong to protect you. And then your shoulder is also super supported because the wrist is right below it. We're going to high lunge. Drop that left hand if it's up. Step it through. Come all the way up on an inhale. Tap your knee once down. Use that strength that you just practiced to tap it and then pop your right knee up in front of you. Get steady. Maybe you have to put your foot down or reorganize your positioning. That's totally fine. And then grab the knee outside with the left hand. Circle your right arm behind your back. So you're trying to sort of pull your knee to the left and pull your waist to the right. Maybe look back. Bring both arms up again. We're going to take a big step back to warrior two on that left leg being forward. So bring the leg back, open those arms, adjust your feet. Let's flow, reverse. Extended side angle. Go to reverse triangle. That means your both knees straighten up. You might even shorten your stance, scooching one leg closer in. And then move this into triangle pose. Let the hips shift back and your arm right under the shoulder, wherever it is. If it's on your shin, if it's on a block, make sure it's under. So if you had like a piece of string hanging from your shoulder, you know, your middle finger would pretty much be hanging right below that. Take a breath. Keep those legs really straight and firm up your belly to stand yourself up. Flip your left toes in so your feet are parallel. And we have a yogi's choice moment here. We're going to dive to the ground. And this is where I'll invite anybody who feels like a headstand to take it. Maybe you feel like practicing a crow. You do what you want to do. Maybe you're interested in working on those hamstrings and you're going to grab your legs and just give yourself a pull. Maybe a twist again. If you're on your head, really press your shoulders away from your ears so you're not leaning into the neck bones, your cervical spine, but you're really pressing out of the earth with your forearms. Unless you're doing this on your palms, which I'm not a fan of that headstand, and if you're interested why, give me a call. I'll talk to you about that. But really using those forearms or the bones that are on the earth to support you, not lean into them. If you're on your head, start making your way down. Whatever you're doing, we're all going to meet with the feet on the ground in a wide stance. We'll come up halfway, lengthening the spine, and then pivot to the front of the mat. Last vinyasa, if you're taking it. Nice big inhale. Make our way to downward dog, exhale. Yeah, 3 breaths here. This is a good place to rest if you're feeling like you need some space here. Little regrouping of the breath. Really drop those shoulders back and down. Little bend to your knees as you move your hands back to your feet. Give yourself a little extra room in those feet to widen them. So I'm going all the way to the edges of the mat. And then I need to turn my toes out, I know, in order to drop into squat. You can sit on your paper towel or your block if you need to. You can raise your hips if your heels feel like they need to lift off the ground. Push those arms into the inner legs and then squeeze your legs into your arms, and that's where you'll feel your lower back extend. If you possibly can, take your arms and just reach them forward. So holding yourself with the hip muscles, the butt muscles, little bit of a mula bandha, lift the pelvic floor, push into the feet, and we are standing up. Nice big inhale. Palms touch, hands to the heart center. And then you can just walk to the middle of your mat or stay where you are. We're going to do a balance. So standing on your right leg, go ahead and grab your left knee. And then now put your right hand on your waist and you can pistol grip your left big toe. Or keep holding onto that knee. You're going to extend the leg straight forward of the hip any degree. So if your knee stays a little bit bent, that's cool. If you're able to straighten out that leg, really draw that left shoulder back. We're just going to bring the arms straight up to the sky. So the traction in this pose is push the foot, the ball of your foot, into your hand, into your pistol grip, and then pull back with that shoulder. So that will actually get you steady and balanced. Take another breath. If you possibly can, release both arms up to the sky. Take a big inhale. Touch your palms at your heart. And lower your foot down. Nice. We'll switch sides. So hands to waist. Let's go ahead and grab that right knee straight up in front of you. Take a breath. Find your steady breathing here. Reach down. Take a pistol grip of your big toe or keep holding the knee. We'll bring the left arm up and slowly, if you want, extending that right leg. Push into the foot, push the ball, push your big toe into your hand, into your 2 fingers, and draw that right shoulder back. See how that just gives you some traction in this balance. Both arms straight up, hands to heart, and lower your foot down. Nice. If you're not at the top of your mat, take a walk up there. Arms to the sky on an inhale. Dive to the mat on an exhale. Ardha Uttanasana, inhale. Step back, downward dog, exhale. Right leg to the sky, inhale. Heading to pigeon pose. Bring that knee in towards the wrist. And you can also take that figure 4 pose that we did at the beginning of class. Now that you're a little more warm, you might be accessing deeper into the hips if this pose facing down hurts your knee or your hip. Lift your heart, and then let's dive forward. So props here. You can place your block underneath your forehead, underneath your right hip. If you have a pillow, sometimes placing that underneath your chest that you can just drape yourself over. Totally relax your left leg. Bring your attention to your left foot, knee, thigh, and hip, and relax it. If you're fighting the muscles in that pose, then you're not stretching. You're kind of caught on a log in the stream uphill, or upstream. And then exhale, softness into your hip, into your muscles of your right butt cheek, your right inner thigh, your left front thigh, your lower back. 3 more breaths. See if you can access lower into the lungs, fuller into the lungs, more volume of air getting in and out. Last breath here, and then be mindful in your transition to down dog. So tucking your left toes first, brace yourself by putting those hands firmly under your shoulders, then your belly lifts to lift your hips up and stepping back. I know a lot of people like to extend that leg back up to the sky. I'm not a fan because that left hip flexor has been very extended. So go back to down dog, and then if you feel the urge to pick up that leg and kick it around or whatever, then I would give you permission there. And this is our last down dog, everybody. So feel it, observe it, and notice the shifts, the changes, mentally, physically. I love that there's always some observable shifts in our body when we roll out our mat. So when you're ready, left side pigeon, if you want to raise the leg to start it up. Maybe this side you should flip around and do this one on your back just because something's going on. Set up the hips, get yourself square and level, push into the palms, lift your heart, and then diving slowly forward, letting your bones soften, letting your muscles just drip off of those bones. And your focus, your attention is just on the breathing, deep breaths, softening into the exhales, letting your body release. Your mind can't let your body release. So, you've got to just let yourself be in these poses and let that yoga magic happen. Couple more deep breaths. Last full one. And then we'll make our way up. Carefully out of this one. You can shift to the left and be mindful as you swing that right leg around. We're setting up for some back bends. So placing your feet on the mat, why not make it a little bit of core work? You know me, I can't help myself. Super slow, we're rolling down vertebra by vertebra. Take your time, be in control, honest. If you're falling, grab those back thighs. Bridge pose. Hands down, firmly open up the fingers and press into the paws, the pads of each fingertip as you curl yourself up, and then maybe interlacing. I'm gonna go with the opposite way I typically interlace my hands because I always do the right on top. So this one I wanna work the left. Press into those heels, press into the big toe mound so you're not tempted to let those knees flop a little bit open. Really trying to keep the femur bones just level into the hip joint. Take another breath. Ease yourself out. Don't forget to release the hands if they're back there behind you. Little windshield wiper. We're just going to do one more back bend. So if you've got a bigger one in you today, Urdhva Dhanurasana, wheel pose. So you decide, bridge, or maybe a softer one. Grab a prop and stick it under your butt and let it rest that way. 5 breaths, whatever you got in you today. Go ahead and on your way up, refine your pose. Take 5 full breaths. Whatever pose you're doing, you want to really push into those feet, really push into the arms. See if you can get 2 more full breaths in. And then ease yourself down any way that works for you in a manageable, mindful manner. Happy baby. Nice big breath in. Give those feet a little pull down out. Gonna keep holding onto the left foot in this happy baby position, and then take your right hand to your inner right thigh and straighten your right leg out to the side. Flex that ankle, so really draw the heel away. Try not to tilt right, so you're still pulling down with the left hip so you stay level with the back hips. And then just use that right arm against the inner thigh to see if you can open up the thigh there. Just a little bit. You don't have to be aggressive, just something to feel. And then bend into the right knee, grab that outer foot for happy baby. Slide the left hand down to the inner thigh and let that left leg open up some degree. Keep the left ankle flexed and then keep pulling the right side so you don't turn and tilt over to the left. One more breath. We'll bring them both back to happy baby. And gently knees together. And another rock and roll up to seated. Paschimottanasana. Legs out in front of you, flex those ankles. If you're tight in the hips, a little wider feet is never a bad idea. But the legs are firmly rooted and maybe even kind of move the flesh out of the way so you're really grounded through the pelvis. Inhale those arms up to the sky. And then exhale, reach like you tried to pass something off past your feet. Maybe your knees need to be a little bit bent. Take a little arda here, so grab your legs anyway to get that lower back to lengthen. And then on the exhale, fold in. If you want to keep the feet flexed in a firm leg as you pull on those feet, bringing your chest towards your ankles. If you want to flap those legs out and just in a yin style, passively, you can grab a prop and place it on your thighs and let yourself just rest there. 5 full breaths, any way you want to feel this. See if you can find length in your exhales so that that low back is really releasing. Check in with your neck. How's that? Is it hanging? Is it relaxed? How about in your quest for a deep stretch, you found yourself squeezing your face muscles or biting onto your teeth? See if you can release that. Take one more breath there. And we're just going to roll to seated. Keep your legs strong so you're grounded as you roll yourself up, and then you can let your legs relax. So fold that left leg underneath you and take the right leg over. So it's called Ardha Matsyendrasana. So your whole right foot is planted and your right butt cheek is down. You'll hook your left elbow up against that knee and bring your right hand behind your back. Try to get your spine vertical. So a lot of times people are all slouchy and are just kind of jamming to the left. Sit up tall and then negotiate any twist that you can. Head would be the last thing that you would look over to the left. The right, excuse me. One more breath. See if you can give a little pull of that right knee towards the left so you access some stretch to the outer right hip. And then carefully unwinding. We try to move carefully always, but never more than when you're doing something with your spine. So changing legs. Right leg tucks under. Plant into the big toe mound of your left foot. Drop your left hip down, your left butt cheek. Grab that knee with the right arm. Pull the knee to the right. Sit up. Then let's twist. Once your left hand presses down, then start moving it, pushing down into it to let the spine move to the left. Head last. Tall spine. Watch that you're not rounding your back. Last full breath, sit taller. Maybe grab that knee with your elbow crease and pull it a little bit towards your right. Get into the QL muscle. And then just carefully unwind. Stretch those legs out in front of you. Give them a little shake. And if you want to, one more roll down with a bit of core action. We are heading right into Shavasana, folks. Slowly lower yourself down. Vertebra by vertebra. Relaxing your shoulders. Stretch out those legs. Maybe you want to flap them open a little bit. Relax your shoulders if you need a quick drink or change of clothing to take something off, put something on, get comfortable with a prop. Our Shavasana should be effortless, including the breath. So lips, maybe a quick lick to the lips to soften and moisten them, and then let them just be slightly parted. Feel like your eyes are just softly closed. Before you allow yourself to drift away, just maybe a quick body scan one more time, noticing anything. Try to clear that mind now. Just try to sit in the sensation of your body without a thought. Try not to anticipate where you're going and what you're doing next, but really be in Shavasana. If you have a little more time to just rest, take it. If you need to start moving, do your thing, nice and slow. Wiggles, rolls, maybe a nice long body stretch. Big inhale. Any way you want with a mindful transition up to seated. Honor your practice before you jump off your mat and run into whatever's happening next. Just sit with a tall spine. Press your palms together in front of your heart. Bow to your practice. Bow to your heart. Bow to this gratitude. Thank you for joining me on your mat today. Namaste.